Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video, I'm going to be doing kind of a different type of video today that I felt called to do, where I'm just going to be talking about astrology and healing. Because I have a new offering that I want to share with you all, and also I just want to share a bit of my background with healing and astrology because I've been doing both of these things for a very long time, over 10 years. And yeah, so what I've noticed in some of my sessions, so I offer astrology sessions, one on one sessions, where I do either a soul purpose reading or I do a synastry reading. And I also offer healing sessions separate to this and one on one coaching. And my one on one coaching package, you can get either coaching, healing, or astrology. And we also chat over voice chat as well. So, what I've noticed is that sometimes in my astrology sessions, I really would love to do some energetic healing. And also, I've noticed, in some of my healing sessions, I'd love to tie in a little bit of astrology. So it's almost like I've felt personally in some of my sessions, and I don't even think probably even my clients have noticed or thought this, but just I've felt in order for me to be the most effective, I would love to mix these two modalities, right? Well, actually, it's many modalities. I've been trained in many different types of healing modalities. I'm a hypnotherapist, I'm a theta healer. I've done all of my Reiki training at, Reiki master teacher. And also, I've been trained in quantum multidimensional fieldwork healing, and probably more that I'm missing because I've spent my life just dedicating to healing work. And while simultaneously, and actually a little bit before I started doing the healing work, I've been studying astrology since I was 15 years old. So, the reason why I feel they're so tied in and connected for me is I feel like they're both a big part of my soul mission and what I'm here to do. And the astrology, it can provoke a healing or cause a healing to happen because when you are speaking about astrology from the soul perspective, it can cause your crown chakra to open with like a divine knowing. And that knowing can be deeply peaceful and very healing, and it can cause major shifts to happen. Now, astrology does not always do that though, and sometimes there's more healing that's required. There's heart healing and clearing, or psychic tie or energetic cord cutting that needs to happen when we're obsessing over these plutonic bonds. Or sometimes there's, relevant past life trauma or inner child trauma that's ready to be processed and healed, that just reading the astrology chart doesn't always do that, although it definitely can heal. Sometimes there's a little bit more work there that is required. And I'll just share an example in my own life. I'm going to share a few examples in my own life for you guys. I just kind of feel like talking a little bit and doing a little different kind of video for you guys, sharing a little bit of my story and stuff with this. So, when I started studying astrology when I was 15, I would say that I did have that crown chakra opening where like the divine knowing came in and things just clicked for me. It was like all of my pain and suffering in my life with my natal Saturn and my 12th house in Pisces. It had always felt like a lot. There was a lot of internal agony. And it was like reading these certain placements that I'd had, it just clicked for me. It was like, oh my God. So it definitely caused me to have self-awareness, understanding. It even helped me to realize, what I was here for. And knowing that helped me let go of addictions in my teens that I was actually involved in addictive substances that, I just thank God every day, and my soul and my guides every day, that like I didn't go down that path fully, and now I'm like completely sober. I don't touch anything. It's just with my Saturn in Pisces, it's just not relevant for me in this lifetime to partake in any type of escapism or addiction in that realm. But astrology really helped me have that understanding where I just realized, oh, this could be really bad for me. And I actually feel like, I had previous lifetimes of that being very difficult or very harmful for me. So astrology helped me that have that understanding for sure. Um, and so I was always practicing astrology since this very young age. So probably about 3 or 4 years before I took my first healing course, which was a theta healing course in 2014. I had just turned 19 at the time when my life was completely changed by the modality just after one session with my beautiful healing teacher, who she ended up being my teacher after, because after I had my first session, I felt like a completely different person. I felt like this darkness that I had had my whole lifetime had released in one 1 hour session. And I felt like self-love, energy, things I had never felt before in my life, joy, deepening. Like it was just crazy. It was like I went from darkness to light in one session, and I was so life changed by it that I decided to learn how to do this particular modality, which is still a part of my sessions. In my sessions now, like my healing sessions, I mix a bit of every type of modality that I've learned. It's just kind of like a mix of everything I've done over the years. So, anyways, my life was so changed by that healing session that I ended up taking the courses and doing, when you're doing healing courses, you end up getting a lot of work done on yourself, right? Because you practice on each other. And so, yeah, that was in 2014. And I really feel like if I didn't do that healing session and the healing courses that followed, I would not have been an astrologer today or have focused my life this way as a career path. I was set to live a life of being an insurance agent. That was my family business passed on for generations. And I was fully going to do that. With my Taurus sun, it was like a very stable, like laid out path for me. And when I began doing the healing stuff, I realized like how different I felt, was like a completely different person. So that sold me on it. But also, I had a passion for doing this for other people. I wanted to help other people do this. And I had this deep knowing then that, oh, like maybe this is what I meant to be doing. But I couldn't fully accept it yet. But I started to do my YouTube astrology videos probably within that year of doing the healing. So, what I'm trying to say is that if I hadn't have done these healing sessions that completely changed my life, I don't think I would have had the confidence to do videos like this or to open up my life in this new direction that wasn't laid out for me, and I had nobody to follow, and nobody thought it was a good idea, or it's not like it wasn't at the time. Now it's becoming more popular. Astrology and spiritual things are definitely becoming more mainstream, but I feel like 10 years ago, it was not that much then. And I really credit the healing work that I did to giving me the confidence, because I wouldn't have had the confidence to speak like this. I had so many, past life traumas and fears around persecution, and, because in previous lifetimes, if we were to speak on these kind of things, especially in a public way, we were killed in many of these lifetimes. So that energetic cord, that thread of pain and persecution and trauma, that if I didn't go into my energy field and heal and clear that, I wouldn't be here today doing this. And there's many other things I wouldn't be doing. I wouldn't be feeling the way that I feel either, if I didn't do the healing. So it's kind of like the astrology led me to the healing, but the astrology itself didn't completely like heal me, right? So my work that I do and what I feel like is my soul's truest work is a combination of both of these modalities. Now I'm going to share some more recent examples. Well, not super recent. One of them is more recent when my husband passed away. I'll share about that a bit. Yeah, romantic relationship examples, because one of my main specialties, as you guys probably know, is synastry readings and, seeing the soul connection that we have with people in synastry, so through the astrology. So, in probably one of my biggest heartbreaks in 2017, I guess it was, yeah, at the end of 2017, um, we had some incredibly karmic synastry. Something that I talk about a lot is when you have that opposition on someone's nodes. So I had my Saturn opposite Chiron, that's in my natal, in Pisces Virgo, on his nodes. And also his Chiron was on my south node as well. So, and there was other things, Venus, Pluto opposition, Uranus, Sun opposition, all things actually, those two I have with my late husband too, who passed away, which was a different kind of heartbreak, but definitely a heartbreak. So I had this incredibly karmic relationship, and the astrology made it all make sense. And I knew it was karmic, and I knew it was this soul thing, and I knew that, it was teaching me, it was guiding me, it was a big part of my life. And I feel grateful for this heartbreak now, because I actually started my healing business then. So I started doing healing sessions. I was already doing a bit of astrology sessions at the time, but I wasn't doing healing sessions until after this, because what ended up happening is I ended up doing a healing session with that same healing teacher, which actually, ironically, she has her nodes on my Saturn Chiron opposition, now that I think of it too. But the other way, the reversal, like I think it's my Saturn on her north node, Chiron on south node. Anyways, that's just a random astrology side note. But anyways, I did a healing session when I was in the depths of this heartbreak. And I went from like the agonizing, excruciating pain of the heartbreak, where it's almost like a depression, right? When you're going through that level of heartache or heartbreak. And it's not coming from this lifetime alone. It's coming from like eons of pain, right? So I had that clear, and I had a big chunk of that heal in about one healing session. And that was when I realized I needed to go back to offering healing sessions, or start offering healing sessions for the first time. I don't think I had actually ever offered them like paid at that point, even though I'd been practicing for a few years. So that ended up showing me that it's like, while the astrology can show you what's there, it doesn't always completely like heal your energy field like that. Like, because still, like when we're studying astrological things, sometimes we can get looping in our mind, right? We can get obsessing, right? Especially if it's a plutonic relationship. We, can get a little bit crazy studying all the aspects and, transits and everything, right? And not that there's not value in that. There absolutely is. And I still, of course, do that, because this is what I do. This is like my life's work. But it was these healing sessions that completely transformed my being from like misery and agony to feeling okay again. And it was a process. I still had to continue probably doing self-healing sessions on myself for quite a while after, but the first shift with that one session was like so dramatic that I was like, okay, I need to be doing this. And yeah, that was in early 2018, and that's when I first had my first little bunch of success in my online business doing healing sessions. And that felt really good. That was really like put my life on purpose, on track. It was like, yeah, it was just me in my soul shining, doing what I was truly meant to do at that time. And yeah, it was just such a breakthrough. So I'm so grateful to that heartbreak. Now, um, a little bit later on, so now 3 years ago, my husband, or actually he was my fiance, but I just call him my husband because it's easier. He passed away and very suddenly, tragically, suicide. I don't like to talk about it because, there's so much stigma, and I was actually blamed for it by his family, which was super hard to deal with when it was like actually the opposite. So I went through a major trauma in 2021. That was September 2021. And yeah, I actually wasn't even ready to fully like study the astrology for quite a while. So what I focused on first was working with, yeah, different healers. I definitely had some sessions on myself, and I learned how to really activate my mediumship abilities so that I could stay connected with him, because I had a lot of stuff that I was dealing with. I mean, raising our son, I actually was able to end up having a very open line of communication with his soul that brought me a lot of healing and clarity and truth. And yeah, working with various healers, I did some very powerful somatic work. So that's like dealing with the trauma that's stored in your body. And I have an amazing trauma worker that I worked with a few times with that. And that really helped me, get back into safety in my body. Because when you go through a shock like that, you go through a trauma like that, the body is like in terror basically, and it's very intense. So yeah, that was another major thing that I now feel like, with these 3 years that have passed, I fully feel like I'm on a new timeline now. Like I'm out of that trauma cycle. But it definitely was a combination of studying his astrology, studying our synastry, and healing, doing various types of healing sessions, and the trauma work, like I mentioned, that got me to this place, right? So it wasn't astrology alone, it was a combo of both. And yeah, since then, I feel like I have just so much clarity. Like, I still look at our astrology, I still look at his astrology. He had some beautiful placements, but a 12th house Leo stellium, which is quite difficult for a Leo stellium to be in, and then also the moon square Saturn aspect at a very close orb, 0 degree orb, which can show kind of a depressive outlook. So, that has helped me understand a lot, and, studying his birth chart in even deeper ways. Like, and yeah, studying our synastry and composite has brought me like that crown chakra divine knowing, as well as just talking to his spirit as well. Really, yeah, helped me through that. So, I guess what I'm saying with these examples in my life is I'm just sharing my story of like how I've been able to get through these devastating things, um, and, not lose myself, like remain confident, remain hopeful. I mean, at the beginning of the grief and loss of my husband, it was not like this. Like, this has taken 3 years, but, doing the work that, my lifetime or my life doesn't have to be in trauma forever, right? And it's been a combination of studying the astrology, studying the synastry, even some transits, right? Of course, as an astrologer, you're gonna check out the transits on a day like that, right? Um, yeah, so my point of this is just like what has really helped me heal and transform from dark to light, go through some of the most traumatic things that I feel like you could go through. I mean, not that like there's no comparison. We've all had our own traumas that are, so hard on us to be able to keep going, right? But I do feel like I'm a pretty shining example of being able to go through heartaches and heartbreaks. And I think that, having a Leo moon in your natal, which I have, Leo moon conjunct Mars, and in a yod quincunx to Saturn in the 12th house, and Neptune in the 11th house. And yeah, Saturn sextile Neptune. Part of my work here on this planet is issues around the heart and issues around love and healing that, activating self love, self worth. And also, my Pluto in Scorpio at the 29th degree in the 8th house is, a placement that I was meant to go through some major transformations and deaths, perhaps, right? So the astrology has helped me understand. And then the healing work that I do helps me heal the energetic blockages and trauma and all the stuff that is just gets stuck in your field, right? In your energy field. Like we're energy first, right? And yeah, so I decided to create this session that combines both astrology and healing. It's a 90-minute session, so it's a little bit longer than my astrology or my healing sessions would be separately. But you're getting a little bit better price than if you were to purchase both of them separately. So, yeah, it's just my intention for this to really allow myself to feel like I'm truly serving in the highest and best way that I possibly can by combining my two soul gifts and what has really helped me make it through these hard things in my life and these heart things in my life, right? So, yeah, I think that, I'm not sure exactly the best way to set it up. I guess it could be down to, your preference. Like, we can start with the astrology, go really deep in that, see the soul patterns and the relationship we're in, just your own natal chart. It doesn't have to be, it could be for synastry or it could be for a natal reading. So we're just going to go deep in there and look at it all. And then once we've brought everything up, then we can do the healing, or we could do it vice versa, start with the healing. And then after we're cleared and we've moved some energy around, we can go into the astrology from that place. So I guess I haven't really decided which way, but I guess it could really just be down to your preference. So I wanted to offer this. I'm going to add it to my astrology session page as an upgrade, and I'm also going to put just the link for it if you're interested. If you want to sign up right away, I'm going to put it in the description here. So anyways, you guys, that's my video. That's what I've been wanting to do, this video for a while. I know it's a bit different than my other content, so I feel even a bit nervous sharing all that, but I trust that the right people will hear it in the perfect right way. And yeah, I just love and appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here. And yeah, this was kind of a different video, but keep your requests coming. I'm still doing all your requests, and I appreciate all of your comments and your energy. And yeah, love you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye.